Well, this term we're starting a brand new book called Stanley's Stick. So what you're going to do is read the story with me, and then you'll be able to do your literacy activities. So I'll make myself a little bit smaller and we'll start the story. Stanley stands on Stockport station with his stick. Stanley always carries his stick with him. Can you see him? Here he is on Stockport station, and it's 10:58, and there's Stanley with his stick. Stanley's stick was once part of something tall and grand, and it will never return. But it can still be a stick as best it can. Stanley has a lot of stick activity, like pretending the stick is a whistle or a banana that's quite straight. You don't have to be great to be great. And look, there's Stanley, his stick with the monkey. And look, he's playing with his stick there, turning it into a musical instrument. Like pretending the stick is a match to catch the world aflame. There's a game after a sticky game. Look, it's a dinosaur that isn't extinct. It's a stickosaurus. And look, he's turned his stick into a dinosaur. Stanley has tried out some names for his stick, like Starry and Moon, but those names were all the wrong shape. For a while, he liked Stirry, but that is better for a spoon. Stanley's stick is good for writing in the sand in languages only Stanley can understand. And 4 times now he has used his stick to pick up slugs from a pathway, platform and pavement, thus saving them from a fate worse than feet. Stanley's friend Bertie has some string, and sometimes they tie the string to the stick end and go pretend fishing. Because the fish are pretend, no fish get hurt, says Bertie. And there they are. Look, they're fishing in a bucket. So here is Stanley standing on the station, taking his stick for a short stay at the side of the sea with his mum and dad. The train pulls in. Can you see Stanley? Stanley's got his stick, and his mum and dad have got all the things they need for a short stay at the seaside. Down at the sea, Stanley goes down to the side of the tide. His folks take stock of Stanley standing in the sand, stick in hand. What is he doing? Maybe the boy thinks it's time for the stick to be taken for someone else to enjoy. Stanley hurls his stick into the wide tide. Gosh, what a tiny splosh for something that's been so big in Stanley's days. Look, he's thrown the stick into the sea. The sea picks up the stick and tucks it into itself. Stanley is stickless. The next morning, back at their spot on the beach, the tide is out. Stanley treads towards the spreading sea. Boats ride seaback out in the distance. Stanley decides to look for interesting sticks, for other sticks which have been carried twiggy back upon the turning tide. Soon he stumbles upon a stick alone upon the shore. It's quite different from the stick he had before. It's wonky. The stick is an unusual saxophone. Stanley thinks of home and begins to blurt a tune for Bertie. Now Stanley stares at the sea through his stick telescope. It's wonky, and this stick Stanley knows the name of. It's called Fantastistick. Stanley's Fantastistick. And that is the end of Stanley's stick story. So now you can do the activity. I'll make myself a little bit bigger. You can do the activity that I've set for you with Stanley's stick. Bye-bye, I'll see you soon.